Okay, here we go. This is my Spock tutorial. It's not a cosplay Spock, but it's my own little tribute to Leonard Nimoy. And my first ever makeup tutorial, so let's go. Alright, so I already did my eyebrows, I already went over them with glue, and I already applied the ears. So at this point, I'm just covering up my eyebrows that have already been laid down with glue with some concealer, and just, I'll go over it with just some clear, translucent powder. And most of the brushes that I'm going to be using in this are going to be either Morphe or Too Faced. And now I'm going to go over my eyebrows with some Anastasia Beverly Hills eyebrow powder. But first I'm going to use a little bit of primer on my brows just to make sure it sticks. And I'm going to use kind of like an older throwaway brush to kind of start off with, since I have so much concealer and glue like already on my eyebrow. Like, it's kind of a hot mess. So at this point, I'm just kind of forming a shape. Now, I know on the series and in the movies, Leonard Nimoy always had eyebrows that were a little bit arched higher up on his forehead. They kind of went more like up than mine. Mine are a little bit more on the slanted side. I don't know. I did my own thing with them. I'll just have to see how people feel about that. And right now I'm just kind of filling in the areas after I've kind of created the general shape that I want. Now, I kind of go back over them at the end of the video just to kind of fill them in a little bit better and just kind of change the shape where it needs it, and just kind of, get it right. And I'm also using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow. And now, at this point, yes, that's tape on my face. And I'm about to put on some primer. But I use the tape to kind of help create these really sharp lines. And I'm using a light blue and purple kind of metallic shadow mixed together because I wasn't really sure what exactly color it is that Leonard Nimoy always has on his eyes. I mean, to me it looks purple, but I'm also a little bit colorblind, so it's probably more blue. So what I'm kind of doing both. I'm using blues and purples for this look, as well as some silver. That's going to be a little bit later on. So I'm starting off with just this light, almost kind of like pastel-y base of purple and blue colors. And then I blend, of course. You need to always blend, and using a Morphe brush. And now I'm coming in with this Inglot palette. And I'm using, let's see, it's the Matte 376, and it is kind of like that bluish purple, like I said. It's this is one of the main colors I'm using for this look. It's mostly what I'm using in the crease and pulling out. And the other palette I was using is the Sephora Pantone palette. I don't know how anyone could find it. It was, I think, the 4 Elements sort of palette. And, but just any sort of like pastel-y, shimmery blue and purple would do. And now I'm coming in with just a white kind of eyeshadow to go underneath the brows. It really doesn't matter what. I'm just using the white from my Tartlette and Bloom palette. Now I'm using a silver NYX Cosmetic eyeshadow in 10. It's from the Prismatic eyeshadow lines, and I am super impressed with how like pigmented this stuff is. I'd never used it before. Like, I literally just bought it for this tutorial. And we're going back to the Pantone, and this time I'm using a dark gray blue tone. It's really hard for me to kind of describe, but that's, I guess, as best as I can do. It's kind of like a steel gray that has a hint of blue in it. And again, I'm using a Morphe brush. I'll put down below the actual numbers for all the brushes I'm using. And then I'm going back with that Matte 376. You'll see me go back to that. And now I'm using, from the same Inglot palette, it's DS460. And it's a really pretty purple with like a gold shimmer to it. It's one of those like eye pans. Like, if you see it in person, you kind of go crazy because it's just too pretty. Let's see. And now I took the tape off, and I'm just cleaning up the lines because I noticed that it was a little bit uneven. And now I'm reapplying tape to make my sides a little bit more even. And going back over with that same matte color again. Now I kind of go back and forth and layer on the colors and then keep buffing them and blending them over and over, as you can see. And now I'm using eyeliner. Now I didn't really include a whole lot of film of me doing eyeliner just because I really, really hate it and the color got really messed up while I was doing it. But I pretty much just used any winged liquid eyeliner. And then I went back over it with a matte black shade. It's actually an eyebrow powder, which I didn't know when I was first making this palette, but it works really well as eyeliner too. So just any black powder. And then I'm going back over with that white color from the Tartlette palette. Blend, blend, blend. Okay, and I skipped kind of doing some of my face stuff. This is just the Dermablend leg and body actual foundation, and I mixed it with Missha BB cream in 23. And now I'm going in with my Urban Decay Naked concealer and doing some highlighting and some covering because this foundation is kind of dark. It's the darkest my skin will ever get. So I just go back over with concealer to lighten it up and give some highlighting and contouring. And then just buff it out with a beauty blender. Okay, and now I'm using a ColourPop lipstick in Brink. Now I almost did my Jeffree Star Dirty Money, but I figured because Spock always has more of the pink lips that I'd do that. And now I'm going over my ears, my Spock ears with some of my face, and I'm just kind of going under the eyes with that matte 376. And now I am using a NYX Primal Colors shadow in hot green, and I'm just kind of using it all over my cheeks and my face to kind of give my skin that green tint, since, you know, Spock's blood is green, and therefore they would always put a little bit of green in his makeup, which is why I also almost did the green lips, but I just decided not to. And here is the final look. Now, I don't have a Spock uniform. I have a Kirk uniform, but I don't have a Spock uniform. But I did don my gear and take some really cute photos, I think. So I really hope you enjoyed this, because I really enjoyed making it. Leave comments down below if you have any questions or comments. Thank you.